I'm the assistant, so I do teaching here. I take over most of the classes to help Kathy get some of her paperwork done and create lesson plans. And when she's outside of the institution, I take care of the dogs.
By institution, Marissa means the Nova Institution for Women, a federal corrections facility in Truro, Nova Scotia. Marissa has been behind bars since March 1st, 2016, moving through the system. A few years ago, she was transferred to Nova, and her first surprise, something that would surprise many, was seeing dogs inside the prison.
I arrived here and I heard about a canine program. I seen some of the dogs walking around and I thought it was like really interesting that we were able to have animals in here. Actually, it was the first time that I had seen an animal, I think in like 5 years. So when I got to go pet that dog, I was like, oh my gosh, like it's another being, you know? And so that was like one of the moments that like opened up the door to like curiosity of what this program is. And I never really thought much about the extent of the program. I just kind of like originally came here and I thought it was like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know?
What made you want to do this program?
Actually, my friend Marissa.
So this is Marissa's fault?
Yes. Marissa told me all about canine, and I've always been a dog lover. I've had dogs of my own and trained them, so I thought it would be fun to join canine.
How about yourself?
Well, when I first got here, I just seen like a couple people with dogs, and I just thought it was really cool watching them work and stuff. And I want to be able to do it when I get out.
Prison is an environment most of us are unfamiliar with. It can be scary. It's easy to end up down the wrong path yet again in an effort to fit in. It takes determination and strength to take advantage of and see the opportunities prison can provide in changing your life. It took a while for Marissa to recognize that, and now, after years behind bars, she's a role model for other inmates and is helping lead the canine program.
When you come in here, you don't really see much hope. And so it affects your decision making. And then there's a lot of different, groups in here that can be influencing. It becomes difficult when you're around your peers and you have to be a certain way.
It creates bridges between the inmate and the staff, between inmate and inmate. I've had people in my class who said, I'm not working with that person. They did a horrible, horrible thing, and I'm not working with that person. And I would just say, well, that'll be your choice when the time comes. If that's what happens, then you'll have to make a choice, whether you stay or go. Because I'm not discriminating against anybody for anything, you know? Doesn't matter. And the next thing you know, they're best friends and they're walking the loop together because the one who wasn't going to didn't have a dog, but the one who came in had a dog. So she wanted to be with the dog, and they became best buddies. You know, so it really helps to break down walls. And with staff, they come in and the staff go into the house and, oh, what's the new trick today? And, you know, it puts them on a different level because these women don't have a lot of power in here.
No, of course not.
Except in their groups or whatever. But when they have a dog, the guard can't just go pat their dog. They have to ask permission. Okay, and I would do that as well 5 times. I'm not going to. That's all we needed to do. Now, there's a lot of little pieces I left out talking about. Marissa, do you want to take over for a few minutes and talk to them about all those little missing pieces?
You can never train the last one first because you want that to have the most reinforcement. And you would do sets of 5 until they knew the behavior. With the new dogs, they might catch on.
What would you like people outside the prison who have no connection? They don't have family members incarcerated here, they don't work in the prison, they aren't a supplier, so they just really know nothing about this place. What would you like them to know about the canine program?
I think that people just don't understand that it's not about having a puppy dog, like I said before, and they need to understand that this is where you can learn so many skills, because you're using these skills of planning, making a plan. What do you do when your plan fails? You don't just say, well, I guess I can't do that. You go back and you make another plan. It's simple, right? But it's not easy because people haven't practiced that. They haven't been taught to do it. So simple things like that, just learning how to develop a shaping plan, to change a behavior, learning how to do that. It's a skill that you can transfer. Like, I wished I'd have known all this when my kids were little, because this is basic learning theory. These dogs are teaching a lot of these women these skills that they can take home with them, whether they utilize it with a dog, with their children, or just with themselves, and help turn things a little more to the positive side of things instead of always dwelling on the can'ts and won'ts.
Well, I love dogs, so that was the major thing. And I seen Marissa around the yard with trained puppies and stuff, and I thought that was really like exhilarating, so I wanted to try it.
Same, I love dogs, and I have dogs on the outside, so I don't know, it's just a little bit of the outside in here, I guess.
Did it surprise you that there were dogs here?
Yes,
100%.
Yeah. I didn't think they would give criminals dogs.
Why not? Okay. Right. But I mean, there's lots of people that might say that. So why did you think that?
Well, just the different type of crimes that people are in here for. So you never really thought that they'd trust you with the well-being of a dog.
They have to track everything they train and how they train it and the steps involved in the training, their successes, their failures. It's a lot of paperwork, and everybody struggles with the paperwork. At the end of the day, when I look at the paperwork from the day before, what I should see is I should be able to count how many kibbles that dog ate yesterday. So I know whether they're eating 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups, 5 cups, how much food are they eating? Because these dogs earn their food. They earn it. So their food is put in their pouch every morning, and they work for the food. It's a struggle for them to track it, because if there's 250 kibble in a cup and you have 3-4 cups of food, that's a lot of tracking. That's a lot of tracking. Can you take it out for me?
This must have taken some work to coordinate.
2 days.
Wow. I understand some people watching this may have different emotional reactions towards the women in this story. They've been incarcerated for crimes of varying sorts and are paying a debt to society behind bars. There will be some who will also question having dogs in prison. But Canada's prison system is based on a principle of rehabilitation. The women here are people, individuals with individual stories. It's in everyone's interest for these women to be supported in developing the tools to change their lives and be able to rejoin family and others outside the prison walls and become welcome and productive members of society, reducing the chance of ending up here again. And that's what this program, called the Positive Directions Canine Program, is trying to do.
So at first it was difficult because I did get myself in some trouble, and so then that was like a hard thing to kind of like step out of. But once I was able to do that, it's not as hard anymore, because I look at her and I weigh my pros and cons, and this definitely wins.
When I first got here, it wasn't the greatest. I broke a lot of the rules. But K9 here is like a privilege. If you don't follow the rules, if you're getting in trouble, if you're doing all these bad things, then you're not going to have a dog. You're not going to be able to be a part of the program. So that kind of led me to get my shit together and do better. And so I've started following the rules. I'm getting out soon. I've gotten a lot of help. I did all these things to get the dog and to work towards getting a dog, so it's really helpful.
So there's a lot of work to actually get accepted into the program to be able to do this in the first place.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this prison existed. And I was not really local, but this was the town I would come to shop and whatnot. And I had no idea there was a prison here. No idea at all. So a lot of people were the same. They didn't know there was a prison here. And then there's a lot of judgment on it too by people.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
Why should they have a dog? Like, they get a dog, like, you know, they're being rewarded for going to jail. And I was like, you have no idea how hard it is to have a dog in an institution. Number one, the people who can't follow the rules that want to be in the program aren't always that kind and can set their trainers up for failure a lot of times, you know, leaving food scraps around the yard or whatever they do. Lots of little things that they do along the way to just undermine the other person, you know.
It's a tough environment.
It's a very tough environment, a very tough environment.
So I was getting into some trouble, and just having a dog, just helping me work towards my goal and just getting out and being with my child. Because yeah, if you have a dog, you have to like follow the rules, be good, and all that kind of shit. Yeah, so it's just.
So I think it would surprise I think first of all, it surprised a lot of people the program exists at all, right?
It surprised me when I first got here. I was
There you
like,
go.
What the hell, there's dogs in prison? But
Yeah, but it makes a difference.
yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome program. I really enjoy it.
And so the dogs live with you in the house, I
Yeah,
understand.
they do.
So obviously everybody who's in your unit or block, I guess, wouldn't have a dog, right?
No.
So what's that like? Like having, you know, you're the person with the dog in the house?
Well, so we're not supposed to keep the dogs like in common areas.
Yep.
They're only supposed to be in our rooms, and
Makes sense,
so, but we're training with them most of the day. They're only in their crates for like maybe like an hour at a time.
When you breathe, when you move, when you dance.
I'm kind of the do-all, I guess you could say.
Right. How does that make you feel?
At first, it felt really different because I never really was in a position of trust and a position, not of power, but of
Well, someone's giving you responsibility.
yeah, responsibility. And so at first it was really hard because I felt like I owed responsibility to the program, but then I was also on the other side of the fence of also in with my peers. And that became like a hard line to kind of like split, because in the program sometimes you have to make difficult choices. And
Because there's rules to follow.
yeah, there's rules to follow, and I want to make sure the best thing happens for the dogs here. And so that's my main priority. And then it kind of caused like a little bit of like confliction between the other women here because of being able to have that little bit of responsibility, and it was almost like threatening. But I
But it's
ended
an
up
earned responsibility.
yeah, and I worked really hard for it. I worked for like a year working towards it.
Fly above. When you rise up and the stars become your choir.
It's been worth every second of the fight that I got to be here.
It strikes me that this would be a very satisfying experience, especially for the people who are in the program, to know they have taken a dog from however it arrived here, or whether it's a rescue or a mixed breed or whatever, to then now being an important therapy
I
dog
know.
for someone.
It's pretty amazing to watch it and to see it happen, and to know that these women have been able to do that. They've been able to change their behavior enough to make this all happen. That's a huge accomplishment. Do you know how many times I've tried to change some of my behaviors? And I run into a brick wall all the time trying to change behavior.
It's almost like this has given some people, at least, the ability or the motivation or the drive to say, I think I want a different life.
Yeah, this program has done so many things for so many people. I mean, just a few that pop out to my mind. We had one lady who came to the program, and she came while she was still up in the max unit, and I would go up and get her every day, and she would come down, and they were preparing her to come move out to general population. She was probably mid-40s, and she had been in and out her entire life. And she, you know, she never could stay in general population because she'd get in too much trouble. And we brought her to canine, and she did her 3 months in phase 1, and then moved on to the phase 2 of the program. She was out in the general population, and she stayed in general population until her release. And it was because of the dogs.
It's always unconditional love, you know? It can never go away, it can never, you know, be mad or tell secrets behind your back or, you know, things like that. This dog is just like my companion in here. I'm now able to go into the community, and I get to go to like visit other places where they're doing dog training. I get to go to doggy daycares. I have actually a new ETA approved to go to a vet hospital.
Wow.
And I'm super excited for that. And I get to watch a surgery, which is like
cool.
pretty cool, because them allowing me in and being able to be a part of that is really amazing.
So how does it feel that there's all these people in the community now who are saying, yep, we trust having her here?
Life-changing. Like, it was so rewarding.
When you get out of here, what's the plan? What do you want for yourself?
I want to go back to school and take a veterinary technician. I am looking into employment at a local doggy daycare here. And so I want to go back to school, and I really want to be a veterinary technician.
When you were a teenager, before all of this, did you ever imagine that?
No, not at all.
What did you think your life was going to look like then?
I didn't really think that far ahead, and I think that that was one of my issues that got me here in the first place. But being able to kind of grow, because the program isn't only about the dogs, it's about us too. And a lot of the behavior and positive reinforcement that we use in this program and with the dogs, it changed the way that I looked at things and the way that I want to be and the way that I want to treat others. And so I believe that that really changed the way that I think now.
Well, Marissa's been a really good friend to me, and she's really helped me a lot to help get my act together, because when I first got here, I loved getting in trouble, and she really helped me to like not get in trouble and take this program seriously. And now that I have, I've learned a lot about dog training. Yeah, so
You seem
basically,
happy.
I am. I was really down when I first got here, and this program really lifted my spirits.
What changes can you relate to the program itself, you know?
It changes my relationship with people too, and the way I think of positive reinforcement and learning about like negative reinforcement and how to treat others, and when you do something and it's successful, you're more likely to keep on doing that. And when you do something and it's not successful, then why am I doing it? Mm-hmm. And so it comes down to like, what do I want and how do I want to get this and what relationships I want to build. And also like with interactions with others and being able to have positive relationships.
Yeah.
And being able to have like healthy relationships instead of that negative aspect, and working through issues the right way.
When you have a success, it's huge. Like Marissa is a success. She's a success story. She may have gotten here without canine, I don't know. Can't say she would or can't say she wouldn't have, I don't know. But I do know that it's helped her in many ways to move forward in probably areas that she never thought she would. Teaching, she could teach this program, start to finish.
I don't think that it's only important for us, but I do believe that it's important for the community to see that we do hard work here with these dogs and to get recognition.
In an environment like this, how important is peer support?
Very.
Because it's one thing to have like, and Kathy's great, right?
Yeah.
But
But
to
she's
have
not
other
here all
people-
the time.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's what I'm wondering. So how does that? Because the dogs are here all the time.
So that's why it's really good to have Marissa because so if the dogs, the other day the dog was lunging at people that had food. So we had to go ask Marissa what to do about it. So Kathy wasn't here at the time. So if we had
She gives us a lot of helpful advice when we're stuck
Yeah.
on something. Yeah.
and if we need work on stuff outside of class, like walking the dogs, learning how to properly feed
She
the
gives
dog and
that
stuff,
extra
then she
support.
lets us walk her dog and teaches us how, gives us constructive criticism.
So things have actually worked out, and I've actually earned more respect recently from the people because I now actively go out and help them train, and I'm always spending my evenings down in the gym and kind of rallying people up and kind of motivating them to do better because I know what this program did to me in changing my life, and I could only wish that on someone else here.
How different a person are you today than when you first entered the system?
I don't think I could even explain the way that it's changed my life.
Are you proud of what the women here have accomplished?
Oh, I'm so proud of the women here. I am so very proud of the women here. Most especially my assistants, of course, because they spend the most time with me. And I mean, I look at them and I know I've produced better dog trainers than what I am. And I'm very proud of that because that's the goal, to make people better than you, to help people become better themselves. So these women they amaze me. They really do amaze me with what they're able to accomplish with the small amount of resources that they have in here,
I cannot say it with any more feeling of this program has changed my life tremendously. And I don't know where I would be without it. I can't even picture my life without it.